Pigweed here. Today we review a lager and talk about how data centers are awesome and everyone hates them. Oh, good evening.
Hey, good evening,
Cheers.
Pigweed. How's it going? How about some beer and conversation?
Think that's a great idea. Drinking?
So this is Frescaveza, Mexican lager.
Okay, well,
All right,
good.
yeah,
I think that's appropriate.
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay. So
talk
what's
about
on your
that
mind?
later. So I was down at the beach and I'm reading the local rag,
Yeah.
and it says that Worcester County has decided to put a moratorium on all data centers and what is it called? Cable landings.
Oh, okay.
For a year,
Yeah.
so that they can just
New York just did that. Yeah.
same kind of moratorium.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about this because these things are coming fast and furious.
They are.
And a lot of people aren't as happy as they thought they were going to be.
Yes.
And so, well, what's up with that?
Yeah. Right. It's a big issue. Okay. So Frescaveza from right up the street in Pigtown,
Yes.
which is surprising. Mexican lager with lime zest. It's only 4.5% alcohol, but they give you this big can. What is it, a 16-ounce can? Yeah, that's pretty nice. What do you think? Getting the lime?
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
You get it on the nose, and you get it, and it's in a very not fakey way. That's a nice lime.
Yeah, that is a
flavor.
nice lime flavor.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's not lime
That's
Kool-Aid
good.
in your beer.
No.
Nice.
And that's the thing we hate. You know, we've had a lot of flavored beers of various sorts, and sometimes you get that flavor that tastes like it came out of somebody's laboratory experiment.
Yes.
You know? And it just tastes fake and tastes like somebody took a now and later candy and threw it in a beer or something like that. You know, this is actually a good lime zest flavor.
Yes, and it says, and now sometimes it says with something with fruit and other flavors. This just says with lime zest.
Yeah,
and,
there you go.
I
All right, it tastes like lime zest. So, well done. You know, generally speaking, I'm not a big put a lime in your beer kind of a guy, but you know, from time to time, it tastes good.
Now it mentions that there's corn and barley in
Right.
here. I wonder if that is a standard staple of Mexican lagers.
Oh, interesting.
I mean, American lagers do.
Budweiser and Miller and Coors, they all use.
they're doing adjuncts. They're doing rice and stuff like
Right.
that. So this has a hopped into a Zumo hops and corn and barley.
We got to try that
Pretty
one
nice.
time. We ought to try making a corn-based beer. And not completely corn, of course, but you know.
Yeah, I mean, because even a wheat beer. I mean, what's the most you do? 20%,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. You
So
don't-
probably corn would be the same thing. You
yeah.
wouldn't
You're not-
go over.
It's not
20.
going 50-50 or anything like that.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
or all corn all the time. Yes.
Okay, so data centers. What's
data
going on?
centers. I'm like, obviously we need these things. That's
Well, somebody needs them. Right? I mean, so the AI companies need them.
yes,
Right. And
and they're willing to spend bazillions of dollars on them.
yeah.
And communities, even semi-rural communities, are like a 11 million square foot mega factory in my town.
Yeah.
Heck yeah! And here are all the tax breaks to make sure it happens.
Yeah.
And everybody, and initially everybody is getting on board, and then they get them.
But then they find out, well, it's using up more of the water. It's using up more of the power. It's like a blight on the landscape. So there are all these other kinds of things that get thrown into the mix.
Yes.
So
the thing is, the reason that you give away the tax breaks to get them in is you're going to get that money back later, and you'll get that back in business taxes. You can get that back in property taxes, and often it's
more jobs. Yeah.
But the problem is that, yes, there's a lot of construction jobs for a year or two, maybe, and that these things run on like 20 to 50 people.
Right.
Right?
Once the thing is up and running, there really aren't a whole lot of people there.
No.
I remember I used to be in charge of IT at this company, and we had our servers down at this data center in Virginia, and I would go down to check on the servers, and there were like 5 guys. And that's it.
Yeah.
So there really aren't a lot of long-term jobs going on.
And I think now that after this initial flurry of, so here I've got, there's more than 4,000 already in operation, mostly Virginia, Texas, and California, and 3,000 more are being planned or underway. Well, now these communities have a chance to see how's it going over there with these 4,000.
Yeah.
And it might be the only bipartisan agreement in this country right now is both parties are together on trying to keep these things out of the neighborhood.
Well, yes and no. Trump is big on these things.
Yeah.
Because Trump wants, well, first of all, here's the thing.
Well, yeah.
Anytime you want to say we should regulate AI, we should slow down AI, we should think about this for a while. The Trump card, pardon the pun,
boom,
is if we don't do it, China will. And that is, there's no answer to that. If you want to say we want to slow down AI, we want to slow down data centers, then the obvious answer is, if that means we'll fall behind to China.
Yes, but also you would expect that this dynamic to exist when you have a federal need that requires local cooperation.
Yeah.
And so, does America need data centers? Definitely.
Well,
but do individual communities want data centers? It's like landfills, or you know what I mean?
Anything else that we require. Like,
absolutely have to
sewage treatment plants.
Yes.
Nobody wants those in their neighborhood, but you have to have them.
Yes.
So now I guess
but they were all excited about this at first because again, it's $1 billion investment or whatever.
Yeah. Well, everybody loves the benefit. We love having these things in our pockets, but what we don't like is that there's 1,000 12-year-old boys in the Congo digging stuff out of the dirt,
cobalt or whatever they need to.
So this is always the problem. Is yes, do I want to be able to ask ChatGPT a question and get my answer? Blah blah blah. Sure, but does that mean I want a great big power line running through my farm and a big ugly data center that makes weird sounds and
But it's not just. But it's more than from a federal perspective. It's more than just the individual joy of a device in your hand. It's national security.
Yes.
It's a national race.
Yeah, yes, because if we don't do it, China will, India will, Russia will, and that's not a good thing.
And up until now, communities have eagerly courted these companies, and now you have people. You have local political races.
Yeah.
Determined by these decisions.
But what I think has changed is data centers in the past didn't require as much power as they do now, because AI has changed the dynamic. They're using more powerful chips.
Would you like some numbers?
Sure.
This is OpenAI's Stargate project.
Okay.
In Saline Township, Michigan.
Yeah.
Where the plan is for it to be over 2 million square feet and use 1.4 gigawatts of energy. That is equivalent to the energy use of 1 million households.
Right. Yeah. So these things are just totally tearing up power, and so to try to get some scale in terms of what the AI investors are expecting for the next 5 to 6 years, in terms of how many data centers they want to build, it's like adding a third more electric generation capacity to what we have right now.
Yeah, that's good. Here, what I have is estimates suggest that within a couple of years, the electricity needed for data centers is going to be around 10 to 15% of national electricity demand.
I think it's higher than that. I think it's higher. Now, of course, we also have to factor in that the chips will get more efficient, and they'll figure out better technology for the chips. So current projections, are what they are. But where are we going to get all this generating capacity? Because nobody's building nukes, nobody's building new gas-fired plants, nobody's building new coal-fired plants, nobody's building new oil plants. So we're going to get this out of fairy energy? I mean, that's the big question.
Yes.
How are we going to power these things?
We discussed this before, I think, when we were talking about electric vehicles.
Yeah.
But just about the idea of simultaneously saying we have to go full electric and making it more difficult to create electricity.
Right.
All right, come here. You got to make a choice here.
Yeah, the obvious solution is build a data center, but have your own little nuke to run it.
Are you ready for my SMR 160 speech?
Okay.
We have a friend who was an officer on a nuclear sub.
We do?
And I was hanging out with him recently, thinking about this data center problem, and I said, if you could power a nuclear sub, all of its energy needs for
25 years.
25 years by what can fit on a sub, which is much, much smaller than I imagined. I'll get to that. And he turns to me and says, look up SMR 160.
Okay.
Small modular reactor.
Yeah.
160. And I'm like, modular meaning, you can just crank these things out, right? Mm-hmm. They'll all have the same design.
Yeah.
And you'll assembly line these puppies. And 160 is 160 megawatts, which would power a city, depending on usage, of about 120 to 160,000 people.
Right.
Right? It's no joke. So you could do, you could do a data center. You could do, Tesla's gigafactories.
Right.
You know what I mean? Or just a small town that's kind of isolated.
Yeah.
And I've given up on my thorium reactor. Where is my SMR 160? And when I look at it, they don't even say, we should see them coming online in 2029 to 2030. Yeah. They don't even do that. They're just like, well, there's the regulation and the development design. Like, you're not inventing the technology. It's sitting there on a sub for the last 50 years.
Right.
Why can't you just make it?
This is the competition between engineering reality and flowers in their hair, stupid environmentalist nonsense. Because they want to think, we'll make it out of fairy energy with solar and wind and all the stuff that just doesn't really work. You can't. Fine, and yes, how many solar panels is it going to take to make as much as the SMR 160? You have to have like 20 square miles.
I think a sub is pretty big. You know what I mean? So this thing could be the size of a house on there. And then he says, no, it's like the size of a large air conditioning unit. It's like bigger than a house unit, but like when you see outside of an apartment building. Mm-hmm. That's the size of the thing. And they're designed to be buried in the ground. Mm-hmm. And then when they run out, you just replace it.
Right.
And I'm like,
why aren't we doing this?
Why wasn't it already there 10 years ago before we run into this problem?
The French have been doing nuclear power for a long time without trouble. So we're getting a little off the track from data centers, but this
it's
question
a problem
of how to power them,
that we shouldn't be having. But
no, we should not have this problem because we should be doing modular nukes to run these data centers, and then it wouldn't be quite as big of an issue.
What about the strain on water? Is that as big a deal as
No, it's not. It's not as big a deal as people say. So it is an issue in some local places. In some places where they're already tight on water.
Maybe you shouldn't have put one there anyway.
Yeah, maybe you shouldn't have put one there. Put one someplace else where it's easier to cool. But so it's not as big of an issue as people are saying. It is an issue in some places. But yeah.
Now is it actually like doubling people's electricity bills? Like how would you as a politician say that this is having this? You sell it to your people. Yeah. I'm voting for this because it's going to bring the jobs and the tax dollars. Yes, everybody's electricity bill is going to double, and every month you're going to realize that you're paying to fund some California Silicon Valley.
So here's company. Here's the truck driver who lives in West Virginia, who says, "Okay, wait a minute. You're saying that you're going to build this data center that's going to run AI, that's going to that's going to basically make self-driving trucks that are going to eliminate my job.
Yeah.
They're going to eliminate my job, and it's going to increase my utility bill. It's going to double my utility bill, and it's going to use up more water.
Yes, and you're saying this is good for our community.
This is good for jobs for your community. And the truck driver is sitting there saying, what? What are you talking about? So I completely understand why people would say, look, AI is a huge threat to my life because once AI comes along, I'm going to lose my job to a computer. One way. Okay, so you're a truck driver, you're going to lose your job to a self-driving truck. You're a customer service representative. You're going to lose your job to an AI chatbot.
And you're reminded of this every month with your double-sized electricity bill.
That's right.
That I'm financing it.
Yeah, and so you're saying, okay, now you want me to go along with building more of this so that not only my job, I'll never have my job again, but my kids aren't going to be able to find a job because AI is taking things over.
But AI is then going to create the opportunity for new and more interesting jobs, and you'll
the
be
argument.
just fine.
That's the argument. And
Who would have
what I want to
thought
know, what I want to know is what jobs is AI creating that AI can't do? Because usually that's absolutely the case. Usually a new technology comes along, it eliminates some jobs, but it creates other jobs.
Right.
And it creates more wealth, and it creates more investment. So it creates all these new opportunities. What I want to know with AI is what jobs is AI creating that AI isn't going to do?
Well, right. So more optimistic people than you are saying, we don't know. Look at the jobs that the internet created that we did not know, or that would have done. So I think that's kind of, they're like, I can't guarantee. I mean, I can't tell you what these jobs are going to be, but historically, I think we can feel like this thing is going to happen. And I understand that.
I understand that. Yeah, it's a reasonable position. If somebody wants to say, this is what's happened over and over and over and over again, why would it be different now? I have reasons to believe it would be different now, but I can still understand that people want to say, okay, it's going to create more jobs than it's going to destroy, and we're going to have a new thing. And AI can do amazing things. Like, it can help doctors read X-rays and so it can increase healthcare. It can increase all kinds of things that are amazing bonuses to the people. So I get that. And that's all good. But I also get people saying, look, I don't want the machines coming in, taking my job, and me having to pay a premium for it.
So let's just say, and what about the humming noise? Is that really a problem? Or is that,
I don't know. I'd never heard that until I started looking into this topic, that a lot of people say the things make a lot of weird noises.
And so, I mean, I guess if you buy your house and you go, you know what's so great about this? I only have one neighbor on one side because all the rest is farmland.
Yeah, and then all the farmland gets bought up, and it turns into a data center. And
they put this humming data center in your backyard. Yeah, that would kind of suck. But I mean, aren't they mostly alongside the highway in the industrial park?
I don't understand why we don't why don't we build them out in the desert in Idaho?
But isn't Musk say, well, we're just going to put them in space?
In space, exactly. Why
don't you have to cool them?
It's easier to cool them in space, and you can build a huge solar array out in space.
Oh yes, you're right. You've got constant sun.
Yeah.
Right? If you rotate around the Earth in the right way, right? You've got. So I mean, who knows? Maybe we'll get there. Okay. What if the negative TikToks and negative, I don't know what TikTok is, but the negative Twitter X feeds are actually created by Chinese bots.
Yeah.
So Chinese AI is encouraging Americans to be anti-AI.
Yeah. Yeah.
Could that be a thing?
It could be. It's possible. But I really don't believe that it's the majority explanation for what's going on. I think...
So, all right, so then, if it's overblown, let's just go with this.
Yeah.
It's overblown. It's not nearly as bad as, the Chicken Littles say it is.
Yeah.
who, besides the Chinese, might also have motivation to make it sound worse than it is. Right? So you'd have just Luddites,
Yeah.
anti-technology types, people
Right.
fearful of the future of AI and
Sure.
just being, slaves to our digital masters.
Right.
So there would be reasons for people to, be anti-AI data center.
Yeah. Anybody who's read science fiction.
yeah.
Yes. Right. So, yes, there are a lot of people who have reasons, right or wrong, to be against AI and against data centers. I get that. I know that some of it is just sort of knee-jerk environmentalism.
Yeah.
Like I've seen lots of posts on LinkedIn and other places of people saying, before you use ChatGPT, realize the environmental cost of doing X, Y, and Z. Okay, so there's that side of it too, where people are saying,
when they're trying to get everybody to use less energy, I can't buy a normal light bulb anymore.
Exactly.
And now we've got machines that are going to increase 20% of the national electricity output from this one device.
This is the kind of thing that fuels populism, because it's like, when it was us trying to light our basement, we had to buy these stupid light bulbs and we had to do all this jump through all these hoops. But as soon as the data guys need power, it's like, go, go, go.
Oh, now we have unlimited.
Now it's different rules. And that kind of thing absolutely feeds the populist attitude that you guys don't care about us. Yeah. You guys hate us. All you want to do is give everything to the rich guys, to the Elon Musks and Mark Zuckerbergs and all the Claude.
So Silicon billionaires can become trillionaires.
Yeah.
While I have high energy bills, low water pressure, and this humming in the background.
Exactly. And I've seen posts to the effect of, you think we didn't notice that as soon as the tech bros needed the power, all of a sudden that wasn't a problem anymore.
So all of a sudden
we can generate all the power in the world. So, I mean, imagine.
It's legit.
All of a sudden people are going to be in favor of coal generating plants. Because that's what you need.
Well, we always wanted those.
We always wanted those, yeah. So
yeah, we'll be Winston Smith rewriting history. No. We were never against these things before. Yeah. What are you talking about?
So the town that out at the beach and New York have decided to say no new data centers.
We need to give us a year to reevaluate what this deal is.
And in New York, the governor said, we're not going to do this because it's going to cause a strain on the power grid, and that's going to result in higher rates for consumers and all that. And the pushback to that is the problem isn't the data centers. The problem is stupid democratic energy policies, where they say, look, we're only going to build fairy energy, solar and wind stuff, instead of building actual So a lot of those people will point to Virginia and say, look, Virginia's doing all these data centers, and it hasn't caused a problem there. And the reason is because Virginia doesn't have stupid democratic energy policies.
Well, I mean...
Or Texas.
But... Yeah. But, I mean, where they're going is in that deep blue northern section of Virginia.
Yeah.
And so... But, I mean, I think they just didn't really know what they were getting into. I mean, it's really enticing. You're a rural county, and they're going, we're going to build a $2 million square foot, $1 billion factory in this useless piece of land.
Right.
How does that sound?
Yeah, and you're going to get tax revenue,
but however, we need some tax. I think what they're going to realize is the money you get back from this is not really worth the tax breaks. But they might come anyway, right? They're going to be like, are they going to tax break shop their way around until somebody offers them the best deal? But there's already a sort of a national momentum about, wait a minute, But back to New York. If I heard this right, I think Kathy Hochul was terrible. Absolutely terrible politician, terrible person. I am pretty sure, unless I read this wrong, that she is pushing for nuclear energy in her state, like wanting to lead the country. She wants to put as much nuclear power into her state as we already have in the entire nation.
That'd be great.
Right?
If that's true.
If that's true, I might be on Team Kathy.
Yeah. So here's what I would propose. You want to build a data center? Okay, fine. Bring your own power generation.
My SMR 160.
Yes.
You guys should already. The government and Silicon Valley should come together and fast track this thing and start getting this thing to market immediately.
Yes.
I want to see these things. I want to see a operating prototype in a year, and then just start cranking them out.
How about this? How about if Elon Musk starts building them all on the moon?
I mean, he's got plans. First off, you know the Boring Company.
Yeah.
Right? Well, and the electric car business.
Yeah.
And the battery business.
Right. Doesn't
that all point to Mars? Right? Like, you're going to be underground. Right? You're not going to... Right? There's no protection from...
Mars is a different topic.
That is a different... The Boring Company is because that's where we're going to put the stations. We're not building domes with roofs to see out of.
No.
And you've got sun, uninhibited sun all the time. And so, yes, that's exactly the... Put your data center on the moon.
On the moon. Yeah. Put it on the moon and put a nuke up there. Because what could go wrong? Okay. The nuke does something bad. Okay, it's just the moon. Who cares? Nobody lives up there. It's all right. Put it in outer space.
Yeah, right. So some radiation leaks. It's already dangerous.
I was joking with my sister the other day that I think we should put all the data centers out in space because then it'll be easier to shoot them down if we need to. You know.
Very good.
Right. If we get to a jihad against the thinking machines, then okay, they're easy targets sitting up there in space.
I see.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right.
Did you see that thing that I sent you about Tony Robbins?
Yeah.
So, the motivational speaker guy, super rich. Well, he's got, I still keep threatening to get an AI companion and assistant. Mm-hmm. And so he has one. Just voice, like Alexa.
Okay.
It just knows his likes and his dislikes.
Yeah.
And he's expressed the fact that one day he'd like to get a robot. The robot created some, what are they called?
NFPs? Not NFPs. Those digital assets that you sell. Is that what you're talking about? Yeah.
Yeah. And then sold them, made its own money. Took that money and bought a robot dog and had it shipped to his office because he was like, how did the thing, does it have access to my bank account?
Right.
How did it even do that? No. It generated its own funds to buy this thing, to get this robot dog so that he can go with him, so he can be around Tony when he goes and gives his speeches or whatever, instead of just staying at home all the time.
Wow.
And then he says, then later on, when you get your full-size robot, then, I'll go in there. But in the meantime, here.
Wow.
And he's like, I did not authorize any of this.
Wow. So what was the dog's name in the Jetsons? Wasn't there a dog in it? Like a mechanical dog?
Yeah, mechanical. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Whatever his name is, that's what I would name my dog. But he couldn't wait. So because he'd already expressed this, to his AI assistant, and took it on its own.
Wow.
So
I asked ChatGPT a question today about something, and it came back and said, based on the fact that you do this, and you live in this area, and blah, 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 I would recommend this. And it's like, maybe you know a little bit too much. So that kind of situation where the robot can decide, oh, I need to be with this person all the time.
And he already told me that this is what he wants. He wants to have a robot, but sort of speculative, hypothetical in the future, whatever. And he takes
then
the
a dog
initiative.
shows up.
The dog shows up, and the secretary's calling, telling him what is at the office. And he's like, does this thing have access to my bank account? No. Generated its own funds and bought it, and we don't even have a country full of data centers yet. And,
no. So I guess, how do you want to wrap this up? Like what? So let's just kind of summarize what the issues are. One issue is people will say if you're against data centers, you're falling for Chinese and Russia propaganda.
Yes.
Because they don't want us to have data centers because they want to beat us.
Who else would have the motivation to stop our data center?
Yes. They want to beat us in the AI race. Therefore, they don't want us to have data centers. Therefore, if you're against data centers, it's only because you're falling for Chinese Russian propaganda.
Yes.
There's no other possible reason you could have for being against.
Manipulated. Yeah.
Exactly. Your brain, and that's obviously false, and it's so ridiculously obviously false that nobody should say it. So there are legitimate reasons to be concerned about data centers. Like one is you're going to use up all the power
that we're making less of.
You're going to use up our water in at least some cases. And you're creating a technology that's going to replace my job. And what am I going to do? So,
and who would you rather? It's just, and it's ugly. I mean, who wants 12 million, 2 million square feet of peach trees, or this monstrosity?
Right. Now, that's one side. The other side is, look, if we don't do AI and data, Russia and China are going to beat us. And
So
we need this.
Yes. So the guy who is afraid of the Terminator.
Yeah.
This ain't helping.
Yeah.
All you're doing, you're not stopping AI. You're stopping American-controlled AI and giving it to Chinese-controlled AI. So that doesn't help.
Well, yes, I agree with that. Unless you believe that the AI will become its own sentient thing and take over, which I don't.
And it doesn't matter who's in control because eventually none of you will be in control.
It'll be the AI itself.
Yes. Anybody with skin and nerves, yeah.
Right. So I guess my recommendation would be, don't fall for the idea that being anti-data centers means that you've fallen for Russian Chinese propaganda.
You have very good reasons to be against it. However,
you also
as a country, we need these things. We need to figure out a way that it does not harm communities, but we need this investment.
Look at the way Ukraine is fighting against Russia right now. They're using drones. They're using AI. Right. That is where it's going. That's where things are going. If we fall behind on this, where we don't have AI, then China's going to kick our butt. So, I mean, I never understood. I never understood the concept of a love-hate relationship until AI came along. Because I absolutely love it.
Yes, I've always hated that phrase.
Yeah, I know.
But I think you're. Yeah.
Yeah, I never liked the phrase love-hate relationship, but I love AI. It's fantastic. I use it all the time, and I hate it. I wish we could go back to a time where there was no AI. And
gosh,
I
mean, here we are in the quincentennial, whatever, the
semi-quincentennial.
You know what? Our life in the bicentennial.
It was better.
Wasn't that nice?
It was so much better.
AMC Pacer.
Yes. Life was sweet in 1976.
Yes, it was. All right.
So
hold on. Why are we having a Mexican beer?
Oh, yeah, good thought. So we're going to Mexico.
We are going to Mexico.
Yeah. I've never really been, but I sure like to go.
All right. Yeah. Well, this time next week.
We'll be there.
I'll see you in Mexico.
All right. Cheers. Thanks so much for listening. Be sure to like this video and share it with your friends.